This is the drama I signed up for. Ooh, baby! There were some weird scenes. Well, let's do this. Jorah. He was the one person who could rehabilitate her. And now he's gone. Now she's on her own. We're never going to learn what she said to Jorah. There's no reason to hide this information. That's just frustrating. That's sweet. I would have liked to see Ghost fight. He got toe up.
And die together, so that others might live.
Jon's speech is one of the few moments where I feel like they're all united in their mortality. This is the moment when all of their stupid petty differences really felt stupid and petty. When they're burning their dead. Like, why are we wasting our short time on this planet fighting all the time? We should be laughing and drinking and having sex. So that's what they go do. Hey, are you gonna eat that?
Look, it's not about that.
Of course it's about that, you twat. Why shouldn't it be? Dead are dead. You're not.
He's just giving Kendra shit for no reason.
So who's Lord of Storm's End now?
I don't know, Your Grace. I can't be, I'm a bastard.
No. You are Lord Gendry Baratheon of Storm's End. The lawful son of Robert Baratheon. Because that is what I have made you.
This was one of the weird scenes. I think maybe what's going on here is Dany didn't get the reaction that she wanted, so she had to stop being subtle. But it just came out awkward. But the politics of it are a little worrying. Just because we can't name the Lord of Storm's End doesn't mean there isn't one. So we're stepping on somebody's toes, and we don't know who. But I guess we're okay with that because we can just fix it with dragons? I don't know.
See? You're not the only one who's clever.
Sansa Stark will remember that.
It's the same as the one Daeron Targaryen built for his crippled nephew 120 years ago. I liked that one.
Yeah, but I still want to know who the dagger belonged to. What the heck Bran was doing the whole time when he skin changed during the battle.
You know our history better than anyone. That'll be useful as Lord of Winterfell.
You shouldn't envy me. Mostly I live in the past.
Come on, man. You don't keep making creepy-ass Bran scenes like this. Unless he's a bad guy. We're establishing that he still has all this power, but that he's not going to do anything with it. I'm on to you, Bran.
You have danced with Renly Baratheon.
How could he know that?
Drink.
I think Jaime's cheating. People were saying it's kind of unrealistic that Dany's sitting here alone. I don't think so. She's too kneel or die. Let's make a list of all the people here who don't like Dany. Tyrion may not want to be around her more than he has to be, because she accuses him of treason at every turn. She's been doing it since Meereen. Varys probably doesn't either, because when he swore his loyalty to her, her response was to threaten him with execution if he ever betrays her. That was an unnecessary threat. Varys knows the stakes. Sansa doesn't like Dany, because Dany won't give up one of the 7 kingdoms she feels entitled to. Jaime probably wouldn't want to hang out with her, because she was itching to kill him when he arrived. And Brienne probably doesn't want to hang out with Dany, because Brienne is friends with Jaime, and she knows that Dany wants to kill Jaime. So I think there are plenty of reasons why Dany is sitting alone right now.
You're a virgin.
Tyrion! The fuck, bro? We're all having fun.
There's only one thing that'll make me happy.
And what's that?
That's my fucking business.
I know what this is. I think the Hound wants to settle his differences with his brother, the Mountain, by giving him a really good hug.
That was a long time ago. I've seen much worse than you since then.
Yeah, Sansa's had a pretty rough go of it. I don't even think her original crimes were that bad. I think her original crimes were betraying Arya and betraying Ned. That's pretty bad, but they weren't that bad. But I guess when your sigil is a wolf, betraying your pack is probably a big no-no.
Had to have broken in rough.
And he got what he deserved. I gave it to him.
Oh.
Hounds.
Bragging about how she got away with revenge in a story about how nobody can get away with revenge. But I guess you can get away with it if your name is Stark.
None of it would have happened if you left King's Landing with me. No Littlefinger. No Ramsay.
That's a good point.
None of it.
Without Littlefinger and Ramsay and the rest, I would have stayed a little bird all my life.
No, you wouldn't. Life is plenty disillusioning already, without getting beaten and raped. I think the appropriate response here was, "You're absolutely right. My life would be 10 times better if I had gone with you. But I was afraid of you, afraid of getting caught, and I thought Stannis would win the battle and protect me. But certainly not. My rape and abuse was good for me, actually."
Be my wife. Be the lady of Storm's End.
Uh-oh, this one's a clinger.
I'm not a lady. I never have been. That's not me.
After I finish my revenge list, I'm sailing for Westeros. I'm not really interested in analyzing Arya seriously, because the show isn't treating the issue of a child killer seriously. But her fight scenes are fun to watch.
It's bloody hot in here.
I love Brienne's look here. It's what's happening. What's happening? Another weird scene for me. I didn't get what this was. I was like, why did he stop? Is this one of those things where, like, she's trying to repair the relationship with sex, but he wants to repair it the right way? Anyway, after the episode, they said that it's because of the incest thing. I didn't get that at all when I was watching it. Jon hasn't expressed any problem with the incest thing so far, so I thought we were just ignoring it.
You didn't want to be king in the north. What happens when they demand you press your claim and take what is mine?
I appreciate the contradiction in the phrase, "press your claim and take what is mine."
Or it will take on a life of its own and you won't be able to control it or what it does to people.
I think this part's genuine. I think she's speaking from experience. Maybe she recognizes that the throne has kind of corrupted her.
I've never begged for anything. But I'm begging you. Don't do this. Please.
We can live together.
We can. I've just told you how.
Was that all just an act? All the begging? The crying? Dany is possessed.
You'll rip her out root and stem.
The objective here is to remove Cersei without destroying King's Landing.
But the vengeful old lady told me to be a dragon.
We'll surround the city. If the Iron Fleet tries to ferry in more food, the dragons will destroy them.
Once the people see that Cersei is our only enemy, her reign is over.
Supposedly Jon is really evil for suggesting this strategy of cutting off supply lines in order to pressure the population to overthrow Cersei. I don't see how it's evil. It seems like the single most peaceful way to conquer a city that's ruled by somebody who doesn't care about her people. You might say, well, starving people is wrong, but the citizens of King's Landing aren't going to wait until they're starving before they overthrow Cersei. They know that they have to do it before they starve, because it's hard to fight after you're dead. So this criticism of Jon's plan doesn't even make sense.
I need to tell you something. But you have to swear you'll never tell another soul.
Swear.
Tell them.
I have to tell you something. Bran has to tell you something. I don't like that they cut away from this reaction. We've only been waiting for it for a decade. I don't know why they did it. Maybe they thought if we didn't see their reactions, it would create a little bit of mystery around which one of them told. But come on, there's no mystery here. Only little birds sing songs.
I am the imp, and I demand to know.
I knew you were fucking her.
I think this was the last of the weird scenes. Everyone's just so casual about being killed. I don't know if I'm supposed to be laughing at this scene or not.
Try.
I've never hit a dwarf before, but say another word and I will belt you.
See, I don't believe you do that.
It's super tense, right? Because nobody wants Tyrion to die. But then it's pretty funny, too. And the humor of it kind of makes me more tense. It's like the humor is a false sense of security, and they're about to hit me with a Tyrion death. I think this was weird in a good way.
Lord of the Reach.
Hygon, are you mad?
It's better than being dead.
He's not going to kill us. He wouldn't be talking to us.
I didn't think Bronn would, be such a dick. I thought him and Tyrion had like a little bromance. What happened to that?
But I still got a few killing days left, you hear me? I'll come find you when the war is done. Till then, don't die.
If I'm Tyrion, I think this is the point where I decide it's time to kill Bronn. He's just not worth it anymore. Get Dany to burn him up or something.
You seem determined to dislike her.
Sansa really does seem determined to dislike Dany. She's been cold to Dany for seemingly no reason, ever since they met. The reason is supposed to be that Sansa doesn't want to lose her home again. But at the time, the biggest threat to Sansa losing her home was Sansa acting like a jerk to the lady who has 2 dragons. So it didn't make a lot of sense to me.
The North is as beautiful as your brother claimed. As are you.
Winterfell is yours, Your Grace.
But imagine how much scarier Sansa would be as a political player if she had been courteous to Dany from the beginning. Then Dany wouldn't even know that Sansa is her enemy. It's like what Littlefinger used to do, but Sansa doesn't seem to have learned that from Littlefinger. In fact, she seems to have forgotten the value of courtesy, because she used to know it.
You may never love the king, but you will love his children.
I love His Grace with all my heart.
Why provoke her? How is that in the best interest of your family or the North?
You're afraid of her.
Good call.
She wants to make the world a better place.
Not more than she wants the throne.
I believe in her.
I know, I did too.
A direwolf has no place in the South.
Jon just ghosted Ghost. This doesn't really upset me too much. The show hasn't made much of a deal about the direwolves anyway. And if the CGI is really that expensive, then I think they're making the appropriate cuts by doing the direwolves at a bare minimum.
If it's a boy, we want to name him Jon.
Jon is separating from his direwolf, and now he has a baby named after him. I think Jon is gonna die. I don't like it either, man. But the writing is on the wall.
If we marry them, they could rule together.
That's so crazy it just might work.
We are advisors to the Queen. Worrying about her state of mind is our job.
Tyrion's denial rivals almost that of the fans. Fly away, buddy. He'll be okay. Ah. No fucking way.
You're certain about the dragon?
I saw it sink beneath the waves.
That must have been glorious.
You know what's extra sad about this? Is that I don't think they have the diving technology to retrieve Rhaegal's body to mine it. We're not going to be able to put his skull up in the Red Keep with the others, or make some new dragonbone weapons, or any of that.
Keep the gates open. If she wants to take the castle, she'll have to murder thousands of innocent people first.
She's surrounding herself with innocents? This is straight terrorist stuff. But if the gates are open, that means people can just walk in. Like Arya, Jaime, the Hound.
So much for the breaker of chains.
Oh no, I recognize that body. And now it all makes sense. Why they've been paying so much attention to Missandei and Grey Worm.
We will kill your enemies. All of them.
Another vengeful advisor. Don't listen to him, Dany.
This is a mistake.
This is when the episode starts getting really good.
You saw my child fall from the sky.
This right here. Dany has been calling her dragons her children since the beginning.
We cannot stay here.
They have my dragons. Mother does not flee without her children.
At first I thought she's just using the words mother and children to be cute. It's harmless. But then she starts using the mother and child relationship as an actual argument to justify her actions.
They're not your children.
I know they call you the mother of dragons, and I know you love them, but you didn't grow them in your womb. They didn't suckle at your breast. They are dragons, Khaleesi. And if we stay in Karth, we'll die.
You should sail to Astapor. I'm sure you'll be safe there.
Dany becomes pathological regarding her dragons. And it's fueled by the fact that she doesn't believe that she can ever have human children.
The dragons are my children. They're the only children I'll ever have. Do you understand?
So as harmless as it seems in the beginning, it develops into a much bigger problem, which is that she values her dragons' lives more than human lives. To which you might say, they are worth more than human lives, because there are only 3 dragons in the world. But then my question is, how many human lives? How many humans is Dany justified to kill to save her dragons? How many to get revenge for one of her dragons? So as weird as the children mother thing might seem to other people, people tend to play along with it and keep their mouth shut.
Once I see my people fed, I would be honored.
Forgive me, Mother of Dragons, but no man alive has seen a living dragon. Some of my more skeptical friends refuse to believe your children even exist.
Because why make an enemy of her by denying her her comfortable fantasy?
They are my children. And they are the only children I will ever have.
Tens of thousands of innocents will die.
I'm here to free the world from tyrants. That is my destiny. And I will serve it no matter the cost.
She's Arthas Menethil right now. This entire city must be purged.
In the meantime, demand Cersei's surrender. Offer her her life in exchange for the throne.
Speaking to Cersei will not prevent a slaughter. But perhaps it's good the people see that Daenerys Stormborn made every effort to avoid bloodshed, and Cersei Lannister refused. They should know whom to blame when the sky falls down upon them.
This is exactly the reasoning she used for House Tarly. She isn't concerned with what she should do. She's concerned with redirecting blame for when she does what she wants to do.
She's a girl who walked into a fire with 3 stones and walked out with 3 dragons. How could she not believe in destiny?
Yes! Everybody's saying so many cool things right now. Dany's dragons hatching might be the worst thing that has ever happened to her. In Season 1, Dany had made a bunch of mistakes. I won't go into all of them here, but I'll probably go into at least one of them before this is over. But they're things like torturing the wine cellar and watching her brother die, and doing blood magic. Now Dany wasn't solely responsible for these mistakes, but she was partially responsible for them. There's one big lie that Dany tells herself, and that lie is, I didn't do anything wrong. And the dragons hatching is the event that affirmed to her that she doesn't need to learn from her mistakes. All she needs to do is double down on them.
Perhaps that's the problem. Her life has convinced her that she was sent here to save us all.
How do you know she wasn't?
I always wanted to be there when they execute your sister.
Rude.
Seems like I won't get the chance.
Well, don't worry, Sansa, because they can never execute Cersei. She lives on in you.
You're not like your sister. You're not.
She's hateful.
This was heartbreaking.
And so am I.
Damn it, Jaime.
You're not a monster. I know this. I know this because I've seen it.
Okay, we're finally here. The actors are carrying this season. I don't know how they do it. Every single actor is nailing it this season. I think so, anyway. Especially Dany and Tyrion.
Your reign is over. But that doesn't mean your life has to end. Doesn't mean your baby has to die.
The saddest thing about Cersei's story, to me, I think, other than her children dying, is that her happy ending has always been a horse ride away. At any point in the story, the only thing she's had to do to earn her happy ending is to gather up her kids and go straight to Casterly Rock. Boom, you get to live like royalty. None of your kids have to die. Happily ever after. But she just won't do it.
Why are we speaking of Casterly Rock?
The way that you talked about it, I always thought that you missed it. That it was your real home.
This is my real home now.
I think Cersei's problem is a lot like Dany's problem. where she can't admit her mistakes, or she doesn't learn from them. Except Cersei's mistake goes all the way back to when she was a little girl. And I don't mean the prophecy, but that was a mistake too, but I mean her cruelty to Tyrion.
We didn't try to hide our disappointment. That's not a monster, I told Cersei. That's just a baby. And she said he killed my mother. And she pinched your little cock so hard I thought she might pull it off until your brother made her stop.
She's always blamed Tyrion for her mother's death, because her mother died giving birth to Tyrion. And since Cersei was a kid at the time, it's understandable, even though it isn't justifiable. But she never corrects it as an adult. I think because she feels like, having treated Tyrion so badly for so long, she has to continue treating him badly. Or else act in contradiction to her belief that she didn't do anything wrong as a little girl. So I think Cersei does actually love Tyrion. She's just caught in this mistake loop that won't allow her to admit it.
If you have any last words, now is the time.
This was so dark. I've been itching to talk about this, but now that I'm here, I don't really know where to begin. Okay. I've got to start with Barristan. And Missandei. And then Massador. A lot of people were saying, who cares about Missandei? I was surprised at the lack of effect that this had on people. Not so much her death, but the word she chose. I'll try to explain why.
Dracarys!
Missandei was a slave in Astapor. So she's kind of inherited the whole Slaver's Bay ethos. In Meereen, we get to see a good example of how the people of Slaver's Bay think of justice and revenge and all of that. They captured a son of the Harpy, and they were discussing what to do with him.
Sons of the Harpy, they want to put a collar back on my neck. On all of our necks, please, your grace. You must kill him.
It would send a message.
Massador wanted to kill him because he said that's the only language that these people understand. But Barristan advises against it.
I think you should exercise restraint, your grace.
Why?
Well, for one thing, he may have valuable information.
The son of the Harpy has no more valuable information.
How do you know that?
Because I questioned him.
Barristan's bringing over the whole Westerosi ethos, and he's trying to teach it, not only to Dany's counselors, but to Dany. The Westerosi ethos has a lot of cool things in it that the Slaver's Bay ethos doesn't. Those are things like fair trial, last words, the idea that justice should be stoic and prosaic, and it shouldn't hurt more than it needs to, and you shouldn't take pleasure in it, and it should be tempered by mercy, and all these things that curb against our natural instincts toward revenge.
We do not know what this man did or didn't do. Give him a trial, at least. A fair trial. Show all the citizens of Meereen that you are better than those who would depose you. Teach them a better way.
For people who have spent much of their lives as slaves, like Missandei and Grey Worm, it's hard for them to understand, but they're making the effort, and that's admirable.
They teach me what they are. Mercy, fair trial. These mean nothing to them. All they understand is blood.
Verdi gelisk ilvi crenuntosi, do il viragerosi.
You will not use them. They will use you. That is what they do.
They understand revenge. They understand getting even. But Westerosi justice isn't about getting even. It's about minimizing suffering. Dany tries to adopt the ethos too, but I can see that she doesn't really understand it either. She's kind of just doing what she's told and taking it on faith that it works better than the vengeful type of justice that she learned with the Dothraki. Anyway, so Dany and these ex-slaves spin the story acting out these beliefs that they don't really understand yet, with the faith that by acting them out, they'll come to understand them, and see why it's better than revenge. So when Missandei says Dracarys, it's like she's giving up on the whole there's a better way charade, and defaulting back to what she knows. Revenge.
Dracarys!
Another gut-wrenching angle on this is what Missandei means to Dany. I think to Dany, Missandei is a second chance.
Bring her to me. And those women there.
You cannot claim them all, Princess.
I can. And I will.
One of the mistakes that Dany often repeats is that she overreaches with her compassion, because she thinks, what could possibly be wrong with compassion? But by overreaching, she can't manage the risks, and then the people she tried to save end up dying anyway.
The wise masters have retaken control of the city. They've re-enslaved the freedman who stayed behind and sworn to take revenge against you.
So she continues making the mistake, and it continues to get people killed.
And in Astapor, the council you installed to rule over the city has been overthrown by a butcher named Cleon, who's declared himself his imperial majesty.
But Missandei, having survived in Dany's protection for so long, was Dany's evidence to herself that she never did anything wrong at all.
Do you have a family, mother and a father you'd return to if you had the choice?
No, Your Grace. No family living.
You know that I'm taking you to war. You may go hungry, you may fall sick, you may be killed.
Valar Morghulis.
Yes, all men must die. But we are not men.
Even though Dany has a better grasp of the Westerosi ethos than Missandei and Grey Worm, her hold on it is still tenuous, and I think that's demonstrated all the time. I think Dany's missing the "you shouldn't take pleasure in it" part, and tempered by mercy part. So when Missandei gives up the better way charade, I think it's going to hurt for Dany so much that it causes her to give up the charade too, and revert back to the vengeful ways that she understands.